Elon. We just lost 2 more guys today. 2 guys' lives were taken again. It's an onslaught. We're getting killed, and it doesn't have to be. It's just because of a miscalculation, and it's a lack of effective communication, if you will. And being that we are in the age of communication, this is no reason for this to be going on anymore. And that's why I'm coming to you with this, because we're getting killed, and it's just because people are not recognizing the situation they're getting into when they're driving. You see, when people are driving down the road and a vehicle breaks down, or a vehicle stops on the side of the road for whatever, whether it's the right lane, left lane, or center lane, or all the lanes, there's slow down, move over protocols. You know, but it's just not getting done. And I, thanks to you and your inspiration, I started inventing again. That said, I've been working on something for a while now. It's called, because people don't recognize the situation, it's because they're not understanding that a vehicle on the side of the road or in the middle of the road, wherever that's stopped, it creates a resistance, just kind of like electricity, you know. The thing is, if a vehicle stalls, people need to know, you know. So also, I developed something called Wreckonize, but with a W. The W represents the old school chevrons and the new school chevrons. Chevrons dictate that it's a deviation, you know, move over this way or move over that way, you know. So the W represents that, in the word recognize with the W, it's a bit of a play on words, eyes on recognize. But the W represents the resistance factor. And if people have the proper resistance factor ahead of time, if they're taught how to slow down, move over, it's not hard. You're driving in the first lane and there's a right lane anomaly. You slow down, and because that right lane is probably going to get closed down, because if a human steps out, there's no more space for a person in a vehicle. It's kind of like, you know, a mass against a biological mass. They don't, you know, they get destroyed. Look what happened to Thea. You know, the Earth, the moon thing. Anyway, Elon, people just need to know it ahead of time. And with our communication, I've been working on a system so it can, well, it only doesn't talk to just people. It can talk to an intelligent system like a Tesla, right? It's about getting the message ahead of time, preemptively. It'll tell you 1 of 4 emergency messages. There's no, emergency protocols. It's not hard. Slow down, move over. Right lane anomaly. You move over to your left and you ride the exterior lane. The first lane, if you're in that lane, obviously the lane is either about to get shut down or you're not supposed to be in that lane. And you move over, you know, into the next lane. While you're in the other lane to get the people behind you, you move over onto the line and you ride the exterior line opposing the incident. I even have witnessed 2 Teslas. I'll put the video in there. 2 Teslas with cones out and everything, the kill zone defined. The Teslas performed it perfectly. They passed by, they slowed down, and they moved over to the line, letting the people behind them get a better view so they can slow down and move over too. Every single lane has to move over. You slow down and you move over, and if your lane is closed, you move over to the next lane. But even in that lane, like I said, you move over and ride the line. When you ride the line, it doesn't only let the people in behind see, it also lets the person on scene, the rec op, the fireman, the police officer, whoever, the citizen that's helping someone else out, the road worker, or whatever, they can see with one glance that the person recognized the slow down, move over protocol. And if it's a left lane anomaly, it's the opposite. You slow down and move over. You know, over to the right, move over a lane on the right, and ride the line opposing the incident. And if it's a center lane, well, a center lane is a little more different, because you could have, you know, trucks. You know, trucks should keep one side and cars should keep the other side. If it's a center lane, and then there's the all stop mode, like, you know, slow down and stop. So there's slow down, move over, right lane anomaly, slow down, move over, left lane anomaly, slow down and move over, center lane anomaly, and there's slow down and stop. TCAS, traffic collision avoidance system, to rectify this problem. Incidentally, Elon, I named 3 of the calculations. One of them is V1. Well, it's 1V1 technically. It's your volume and the space you take when you step out on the side of the road. That's a calculation for everyone. It's also the 4th factor. I'll explain that. You have a biological mass that, when you step out in your vehicle, it needs to take up a certain amount of space. So your personal space that you have is, the minimum space you have is when your arms are like this. Your maximum is when you stretch out your arms. You need a minimum space to work. And there's another one, a calculation that we named after, which is essentially these 3 calculations work together with the 4th factor. I named another one of the calculations after, it's because it's like Ohm's law. You have to use the 3 calculations to calculate the resistance. Well, this is one's called Ohm's law with an H, because the inventor of the tow truck, a great inventor, invented a tow truck in 1912 or 1916 with a 1912 Cadillac. He invented the tow truck, and his name was Ernest W. Holmes. The W in Wreckonize represents for him too. So Elon, so that one's named after Ernest W. Holmes. It's W squared equals V squared. I'll get into that another time, but it's the calculation and also the source code for Wreckonize. It's to be able to deliver the SloWDoWnAndMoVeOVer protocols to autonomous vehicles and people at the same time. It's a language that speaks to both. So there's hand gestures, there's flasher mode with your flashers, which that's called E mode, because it elongates the emergency message. That's the way flashers go. 3 emergency flashers and 3 flashers opposing the incident. So you can program it into a Tesla, so when it recognizes, it does that automatically if you want it to. That's what we're hoping you will do, is add E mode to it. There's another calculation now that is also W equals V squared, and that one we named after Nikola Tesla, but the way it's spelled, because it's physics, so it's the law, right? Nikola Tesla, just like Ohm's law. The problem is there's not enough preemptive warning, so the system I designed is you give mass factor relative. It's about 42 seconds preemptive warning, 2 seconds for latency, 30 seconds to get the message, slow down and move over, whichever protocol it is. 30 seconds of preemptive warning gives it enough time to assess the situation. Of course, the vehicle like Tesla, if it gets it right away, it's pretty much instantaneously, so it'll know right away. For the person, they're going to be told 3-4 times, to slow down and move over. And they'll hear it, and they'll feel it, and they'll see it. If we want to, too, the people on scene can get a preemptive warning of 10 seconds. I've managed to survive all 4 times that I've been struck because I had 1.2 seconds to react. And I used it, and I used it wise enough that I got to survive. Well, the first time was just luck. The 3 other times I grabbed that second half. But what I've designed, the people on scene can have a 10-second warning. This can be done easily. It's probably, designing an app that can easily just pass the information along. The app is only the key to Wreckonize, and we like everybody to have this app for free. Everybody can have it on their phone, or cars like Tesla would have it directly in the car. The 4 SloWDoWnAndMoVeOVer protocols. And the thing is, like I said, with the E mode, once the Tesla gets the message, its flasher mode can start telling the other surrounding vehicles by flashing 3 times flasher and 3 times and repeat that until you pass the scene. And I'll go into details about how it would work and all that, and how the system can also pay for itself, because we basically want every car company eventually to do this, or every phone manufacturer, without mentioning names there, but to have it directly in their phone once, and we like that for this app for well, I opened a non-profit organization so everybody can have it for free, the first responders and all the emergency responders, I should say, can have it with a small training to explain how it works, and And also every car and every person can have it, you know. You would save thousands of dollars in tickets. We'd stop putting police officers' lives in danger, because now they're asking police to give people tickets because someone didn't slow down, move over for a wreck op or a fireman or whatever, and then they're putting police lives in danger further along down the road. And it's only a matter of time that while a police officer is giving a ticket because someone didn't slow down, move over, they're going to get killed. In fact, police officers are getting hit all the time. I've calculated with a minimum, if you take upon a certain car company's evaluation on life, which was 200,000, I counted on the minimum kills, the guaranteed kills, not all the people that get hurt and all that stuff, and all the you know, there's all the professional people that get killed each year just in Canada and the States. There's over $20 million a year. $20 million a year that's being gone for miscalculation. And the reason why I'm coming to you, there's many reasons, I don't want to bore everybody, but you know, since you're Elon, you'll mind a bit of boring, right? The thing is, Elon, I opened a non-profit organization. I'm going to be raising about $50,000 to make sure we get this and put it in the hands of every single driver. And I'd like to ask you to make Tesla to be the first company to recognize wreck ops and other emergency personnel, such as firemen, anybody who gets off the side of the road, you know, policemen and all that. Of course, it has to be taught, and there's a lot of plans to get it taught in school, and people need to know. It's like emergency protocols need to be taught ahead of time. Physics are physics, you know. You slow down, reduce velocity, and redirect vector, you know, move over. And all these people don't have to die. You know, their wives, their family, and all that stuff. I mean, I don't want to get into that because it'll just make me sad, and I don't want to make you sad either. But it's what's going on, and we can change this, and we can change it within a year. Like within 1 year, Tesla could be recognizing every single unpredictable anomaly in the traffic flow. You know. Anyway, supposed to keep this video short, but I don't believe in shorting Tesla. You know. I wrote the base code and source code for it, I just want this to end. The thing is, the reason why part of this I like to give to Tesla first is that since Tesla has open source patents like E-mode, the flasher mode, well, all the car companies can follow through too. I mean, I'm asking you first, but because you revived Tesla, Nikola Tesla's name. You revived it, and to me it means a lot. And with that said, I'm really looking forward to the pickup because you know, I think that's gonna. I know of 2 records it's gonna beat. I'm like really sure, but I'll keep a bit of doubt. But I think the Tesla Cyber truck is gonna kick ass. Pardon my language. Sorry, May. It's gonna do well, and the thing is. We even got a place in a museum, a towing museum, because I reserved for a future electric vehicle. I'm certain it's going to be a Tesla that's going to get the spot, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, Elon, I won't take up more of your time. I'd like to tell you more about this. I know you're busy saving the world, and you inspired me to do this too. I'm inspired to continue doing this because I feel I have only 1% chance of success. Or even this video getting to you, 1% chance. But there's a thing that I've been noticing. I call it Test love. It's the love for Tesla and the feeling you get when you launch in a Tesla. It Tes love at first launch. Haha. But anyway, I think this there's enough people that like Tesla that this video might get to you. You know, the sooner the better. Like I said, it's literally minimum $200,000 a day is going out the window for no reason, and a lot of pain and suffering for no reason. Anyway, yeah, you inspired me because you revived his name, and you said, you know, don't give up. So even though we're seeing people die every day. Yeah, don't want to give up. So, but that's a good reason to. I lost my best friend 25 years ago, same circumstance. In fact, it's kind of crazy, but his death 25 years ago is what gave me the source code. It's not the primary incident that causes the secondary incident. It's the lack of effective communication. I believe we can end this onslaught. We can do it within for Tesla and other intelligent vehicles within a year, and then the other can follow through. And within 10 years, I think it might be like an airplane crash. By then, there might be one here and there, and it'll be fully investigated, like it should be, and we can just continue living, and everybody gets to go home, and that's the point. Because everybody, when they get in a car, they deserve to make it home. DM's open, and yeah, I hope to speak to you, Elon, about this. And I know everybody else wants to speak to you, and everybody's like, Elon, 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 like Elon, 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 like Elon, Elon, Elon. But I like to say this is a bit of an emergency, even though it's been going on for a while. This has to stop. It just does. So DMs are open, and hopefully we'll be able to talk soon.
Thank you for recognizing. Slow down and move over. Slow down and move over. Recognizing. Recognize. Slow down and move over. Slow down and move over. Recognizing. Recognize. Slow down and move over. Slow down and move over. Recognizing. Thank you for recognizing.